So in your opinion, one of the things you've pointed out is that some leaders make everyone around them smarter, and other leaders seem to really like dampen output. They hire really smart people and then complain that they don't perform. What's going on there? And I guess my first question would be, naturally, are managers more multipliers or are they more diminishers?
Mm. Yeah, let me start this idea of the diminisher. The
Okay.
diminisher is someone who may hire really smart people, but then they end up shutting people down. If the kind of a simple way to look at it is if everywhere you go, people are incompetent and disappointing you, it might be you,
Common
right?
factor.
Yeah, what's the common factor in all of this versus leaders who everywhere they go, people are performing well, who are not only meeting expectations or surpassing expectations. That is a function of leadership, which is why I can't quite get on the the the, the bandwagon of let's get rid of leaders, because leaders do either cause people to perform at their very best or at their very worst. And are there more multipliers or diminishers? Are we
Or
fine?
just naturally, the human condition. Is there a, our default is to be a diminisher or a multiplier, and then we become one or the other? Or do you say it's just 50-50 or something like that?
Well, what is our natural state to be a multiplier or a diminisher?
Yeah.
Like, how about you, Rich? Like, what's your natural state as a leader? I'll tell you mine. You go first.
Mine was a diminisher. And I think it's because what my vision of leadership was, which was from popular culture or from movies and things like that, that it was the controlling, telling people what to do. You had to seem smart. You needed to be in control at all the times, and you had to manipulate people to get them to do what you wanted to do. And that led me down a dark road of like sitting there going, I'm working so hard, nobody cares, people are lazy. And then I looked into autonomy and I found your book and I learned about I need to stop trying to get anybody to do anything, instead foster an environment where motivated people can thrive, and my job is to give them challenge, autonomy, learning, and meaning in their work. And it flipped everything. But I had the severe pain of being a diminisher and wondering why I couldn't attract top talented people, or if I did, why I couldn't keep them, and why my relationships were acrimonious. So for me, my natural state, or my trained state, was being a diminisher. I had to really change my behavior to become a multiplier.
Yeah. I find that most people's natural state is probably to have the heart of a multiplier,
Yeah.
but to have the training of a diminisher.
Yeah.
Because we are taught to be a superstar, to get the answer, to perform. It's the path of leadership is often the top contributor, the person who's got lots of ideas or lots of energy. And we think those things trickle down. But what happens is when the leader over relies on his or her own ideas, intelligence, strength, energy, problem solving capability, optimism, you name it, it ends up having a squashing effect, a dampening, I think is the word that you used earlier, effect on people around them. I hear so many people say, I feel like I have the heart of a multiplier.
Yeah.
Like it's the person I see myself as, I want to be. But I've been living in diminisher land so long, I've gone native.
Right.
That my these have been my role models. And so I think we have, I think lurking inside all of us is a diminisher. And maybe it's to go back to, maybe by metaphor, it's something I think a lot of people have heard. It's probably I think it's a nice meme on the internet, but this idea of, this Native American legend about, the father telling his son that inside of every one of us are two wolves. One is like ravenous and hunts, and the other is sort of like kind and generous. And, and they're constantly at war with each other. I'm not doing justice to this story, so someone can go out and look it up. But the young boy is captivated by this. His grandfather's telling him this story, and he's like, Grandpa, which wolf wins? Which is getting to the very essence of human nature, isn't it?
Yeah.
That like inside of us, we have this, I think, capacity for incredible generosity and goodness and concern for the whole, but we also have a selfish side of us. And the grandfather, in response to this question, which one wins, he says, the one that you feed. And I think this is also very true with this battle that most people have between our diminisher side that wants to have the answers, tell people what to do, figure out the problems. That's in some ways to be a superstar.
Yep.
But this other part of us that wants to grow a team, that wants to use our best to bring out the best in others. And, I find that most people are struggling constantly. I am. And it's why most of us end up this accidental diminisher.
Yeah.
End up pulling people down, but yet having the best of intentions. And I really do think it comes down to this idea of which one do we feed? Which part of our leadership anatomy, are we nourishing? Is it the part that squashes others, or is it the multiplier side of us? And I think it takes active work. And I think you know that because you've been in that very process of really feeding that side of you as a leader.